helped me to reach 2,000 subscribers. It was supposed to be a quiet evening. Rain tapped against the kitchen window, the kind of slow, rhythmic sound that made everything feel almost safe. I was slicing lemons for her tea when she said it, calmly, like she was commenting on the weather. I should have married my ex. The knife froze midday. A lemon wedge slipped from my fingers, landing with a dull thud against the counter. My heart didn't race at first. It simply stopped. A strange silence filled the room, stretching between us like an invisible wire about to snap. She didn't look up, just kept stirring her tea, eyes following the lazy whirl of the spoon. I waited for her to laugh, to say she was joking, but nothing came. Only that clinking spoon, slow and deliberate. "What did you just say?" I asked. My voice came out rough, distant, like it belonged to someone else. She sighed. I said, "Sometimes I think I should have married Alex. He understood me better. He didn't make everything so heavy." The air thickened. I felt my pulse pounding in my temples, but I couldn't find words. Instead, I just stared at her, the woman I'd built my life around, the one whose hand I used to hold when the world felt too loud. She finally looked up. Her face softened as if she realized she'd gone too far, but she didn't take it back. "I didn't mean it like that," she said quickly. "I just meant things used to be easier." Easier. I turned off the kettle, though it hadn't even started boiling, and set the knife down. My hands trembled. "You think he understood you better?" Her lips pressed into a line. She looked anywhere but at me. Maybe not better. Just differently. It wasn't the first time she'd mentioned Alex, her college boyfriend, the one she called her almost. At first, I didn't mind. Everyone has a past, right? But lately, his name had been slipping into more conversations. Little comparisons. Harmless nostalgia, she called it. I'd ignored the red flags. The late-night messages she said were from a co-worker, the sudden secrecy with her phone, the way she'd started wearing perfume again, his favorite scent. I later realized. I'd told myself she was just stressed, that the distance between us was temporary. That's what love does. It makes excuses for the person holding the knife to your heart. Now, sitting in the same kitchen where we once danced barefoot, I saw it clearly. The love I'd fought for had turned into something fragile and foreign. "Did you ever talk to him again?" I asked quietly. Her fingers froze around the spoon. She didn't answer right away, and that silence said more than any confession could. "Emily," I said, my throat tightening, "are you seeing him?" She looked up sharply, offended, like I'd accused her of something vile. "No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous." But her eyes flickered just for a second. That tiny, betraying shift told me everything. I nodded slowly, stepped back from the counter, and whispered, "All right." "What do you mean, all right?" she asked, a hint of panic creeping into her voice. I didn't answer. I just walked past her, the floor creaking under my feet, the smell of lemon and tea following me down the hall. Behind me, she called out, "You're overreacting again. You always do this, twist things." I stopped at the door, my hand on the knob. "No," I said softly. "I just finally heard you." And I walked out. The rain had turned heavy outside. It blurred the street lights, softened the world into a hazy smear of gold and gray. I didn't take my car. I just walked, my jacket soaking through in minutes. Her words kept looping in my head. I should have married my ex. They weren't just words. They were the unspoken truth she'd been carrying, waiting for the right moment to slip out. And one said, they couldn't be unsaid. By the time I reached the park, I was shaking. Anger, heartbreak, disbelief, all tangled together. How long had she been feeling this way? Weeks? Months? Was I just a consolation prize she learned to settle for? I sat on a bench, watching raindrops splatter against the puddles. I thought of the nights I stayed up comforting her after work, the dinners I planned just to see her smile again. I'd built my world around her happiness. I'd thought that meant something. It hit me then. The betrayal wasn't just about another man. It was about the erosion of love, slow and unseen. The kind that doesn't stab you in the back, but cuts you, piece by piece, until you're hollow. Hours later, when I finally returned home, her car was gone. The house was dim, except for the light spilling from her study upstairs. I almost didn't go in, but something made me climb those steps. On her desk sat an open laptop. Messages glowed across the screen, her and Alex. I didn't want to read them, but my eyes moved on their own. Emily, sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd said yes to you instead. Alex, you still can. You know that. Emily, he's good to me, just not the way you were. Alex, you don't have to explain. I get it. Emily, I wish I didn't miss you. The screen blurred through my tears. I didn't rage or shout. I just closed the laptop and leaned against the wall, letting the truth settle in. She wasn't physically gone yet, but emotionally she'd left long ago. When she came back later that night, her eyes were red, her expression uncertain. You left, she said softly, without saying anything. I didn't need to, I replied. You said enough for both of us. She stepped closer. I didn't mean it like that. I was just frustrated. Don't. I interrupted. Don't rewrite it now. You meant it. You probably meant it for a long time. Her lips quivered, guilt flickering across her face. I just feel lost, she whispered. I thought maybe if I talked to him, I'd understand what I wanted. My chest ached at her honesty. And did you? She looked down, her voice barely audible. Yes. I waited. She didn't continue, but I didn't need her to. The silence told me everything. I nodded once, stepping aside to give her space. Then you know what you have to do. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Please don't make this harder. I smiled faintly. Emily, it's already as hard as it gets. And for the first time, I walked away not out of anger, but out of peace. Because I finally realized something. Love isn't lost when someone leaves. It's lost the moment they stop choosing you. As I closed the door behind me, I heard her sob, raw, broken, and real. Maybe that was when it finally hit her. Not the weight of losing me, but the truth of what she'd thrown away. And for once, I didn't look back.